In this video, we're going to talk about how to really start using AI in the world of work. But before we dive into that, we need to acknowledge that this is going to be a learning curve. This is a fundamental new technology that's complicated and a lot of dimensions to it. So it's not going to be the kind of thing you're going to pick up just like a new tool or a new app or something like that. It's going to take a few months to really wrap your head around it. And that's to be expected. Like if I gave you a computer and you'd never seen a computer before, you didn't know what a keyboard was or a mouse was or how to use them, it would be bamboozling. And if I said to you, yeah, just sit down and type, you'd be like, what? How am I going to do that? It would seem very, very difficult. But once you get used to it and start using it, of course, it becomes second nature, and then you can really produce great results with it. Well, it'll be the same way with AI. These types of images that people are creating now, this incredible work product, these aren't artists that are doing this. These are people who've just learned AI, learned how to use these tools, and now they can produce incredible results. And you'll get to the same point as well in your specific domain or industry. So when I'm working with AI, I like to think of it as a worker. And I'm creating these different sort of types of workers that are now part of my team, like employees. And that makes me a much more competent, capable, productive person because not only am I training these AI to do work that I really know well, I'm also kind of bringing AI onto my team, these workers onto my team that have special skills and expertise that I don't have, that give me advanced capabilities. So the 5 levels of customization of AI, you could say, is number 1, the 0 customization, the AI chatbot, which is ChatGPT. So this is our friendly, helpful, eager guy who's just generic and ready to just do whatever we want him to do. But he has no context, he has no role, he doesn't understand anything about our business or what we do. Now, the next level is what's called a custom GPT if you're working with ChatGPT. There's different terminology for this. Google Gemini calls it gems, Claude calls it projects, but it's basically where you've given the AI a little bit of instruction on what its role is and how it's supposed to talk and behave and the kind of knowledge it should be speaking from and a little bit of information about yourself as well. So you're not starting from just vanilla generic ChatGPT every time. So kind of like this, like you're a doctor that specializes in sports nutrition for men who play soccer. Now, even that tiny bit of instruction, of course, when you actually create custom GPTs to do serious work, it'll be about a page and a half of instructions. But even that little bit of instruction, this AI is going to talk and behave and provide answers that are much more specialized than just generic ChatGPT. So let's actually create this custom GPT just so you can see what it looks like. So if I bring over ChatGPT, and in the left sidebar, I can click Explore GPTs. And if you have the paid version of ChatGPT, you'll have a Create button here, and you can create your own custom GPTs. And then once you know what you're doing, you'll just fill in the details. But for the first time through, let's let it help us create the system instructions for this custom GPT. So we can say, you are a doctor that specializes in sports nutrition for men who play soccer. I'm a man who plays soccer. So it's asking me what my top nutrition concerns are right now. I don't want to give it too much detail right now for this example. So I'll just say, just create the custom GPT, just so it gets to a done point here. You, of course, when you're creating yours, can answer all the different questions that it asks. So there it is. What it's done in the background is it's created system instructions, given it a description, given it a name, and you're basically good to go now. Now you can talk to this custom GPT. Now, the next level of AI worker is an automation. And this is where you're using a tool such as Zapier or N8N or Make.com. These are automation tools. And what we're able to do now is add in a bit of intelligence into these workflows, into these automations. So maybe what I'd really like is for when I get a new email to have AI check, is this an urgent email? And if it is urgent, text me so I get the email as soon as possible. Now, that's something that was really difficult to do before with just regular automation. You have to give it very specific keywords and if this, then that type of structures. But now we can throw in this intelligence and say, listen for the tone of the email. Here's a list of projects I'm working on, and this is a list of my top clients. Messages from them that sound urgent, text message me. So let's create this one too. So my favorite automation tool is make.com. So if I create a new scenario, and even in here, we can use AI to describe what we want. I'd like AI to read new emails that come into my Gmail account, and if they sound urgent, send me a text message with a summary of the email. Otherwise, do nothing. And there we go. So obviously, if you come in here and set this up, you'll need to give credentials to access your Gmail and your ChatGPT account and stuff like that. But literally, it's that simple to create these kind of automations. The next level I would call an AI assistant. You can still create these as a custom GPT, but now we're using the full capabilities of a custom GPT. So that includes things like giving it files, giving it access to tools, and giving it some more detailed system instructions so it performs very specific actions when we ask it to. So for this scenario, imagine I'm a realtor. And my favorite thing to do is when I get a new house to list, to go around with my camera and take a picture of all the amazing things. And I wish I could just talk as I'm taking photos and say stuff like, wow, look at this fireplace. Look at the molding. This is amazing. And have it record what I'm saying. And then later, for AI to transcribe that recording and then pull out all the things that I said would be interesting to post about on Instagram or should be part of the listing and create a summary of those things for me. Well, that's what we could do with an AI automation. But then we could create this assistant and we could give it access to my writing styles for all my different social media because it's different how I write on Instagram than how I write on Facebook. I could give it my business info, my ideal client profile, and then we can use this custom GPT to write, draft listings, to draft social media posts for us, and just speed up and streamline our whole process. So if we were to do this as a custom GPT, if we bring back our sports nutrition doctor, of course, we'd give it robust system instructions telling it that it's a writer and that it specializes in writing social media posts for real estate agents. And we tell it that when I ask you to draft a listing, to look at the last 20 listings that I've created as examples, stuff like that. When you draft social media posts, use my writing style for the specific social media channel. The last one here is create new action. If you've created an automation in make.com to send an email or create a new appointment or to take an audio file and transcribe it, those kind of actions you can call from your custom GPT. Now, I'm not going to get into how to do that. It's a little bit technical and clunky to do right now, but I just wanted to let you know that that's how you do it. Of course, I imagine 6 months from now, Microsoft, Google, and other companies are going to make this super simple and easy compared to what it is right now. But that's currently how you do it. The fifth level of AI worker is an AI agent. What differentiates an AI agent versus the previous examples that we've been looking at is an AI agent is not about just giving it a task, do this, do this, do that. You're giving it a goal, an objective, and it figures out because it has advanced reasoning what are the right tools and right actions to take to accomplish that goal. So in this example, imagine I've created a project manager's assistant. I'm developing this high rise and I've got 54 people running around doing all kinds of work. There's a lot of meetings, there's a lot of Slack communications, emails, and whatnot. It's a lot for me to keep track of. But what if I had an AI agent that could attend all the meetings, could monitor all the Slack channels and all the email communications, and at any point, it could do a check and see, is there anything that's alarming or should be brought to my attention, some trends, some patterns that it's noticing that I should know about? And so notice that I'm not at any point doing a chat with this agent and saying, hey, go do this or go do that. It's running in the background, just monitoring and doing this kind of work, and then taking appropriate action when it needs to alert me of certain situations. To create something like this, it's too complex for a custom GPT. So you'd end up using a tool like N8N, which allows you to create these kind of agentic workflows. Now, I won't go into detail on how to create these here, of course, but Here's an example of what that might look like. So there you go. Those are the different levels of workers that you can be creating today and adding to your team. And certainly there's a learning curve, and certainly it's awkward and difficult to work with these things right now. It's going to improve a lot as the different companies start to build out tools for us to make these things a little more simply, but there's a lot that you can do right now. In the next video, we're going to talk about what does your team look like when you have this team of agents, and then what does your job look like when you're managing a team of agents versus just being a knowledge worker yourself. I'll see you there.